Yo, what's up? It's J2O. I'm out here with Uncle Pete from Super Easy Forex. Thanks for hopping on this brief interview call.
Yeah, no worries, man. Thank you for having me.
No problem. So can you like tell us about yourself, like your background, how you like got into like Forex?
So, how I got into Forex, I actually used to trade in the stock market and options for several years. And I transitioned from there into trading binary options and was doing that for a long time and then found out about the Forex market and so transitioned to that. And
Okay,
before that, I actually was a huge real estate investor and used to do seminars for real estate.
okay. When did you start binary options? Because that's how I got into Forex first. First, I started with binary options for like a little bit, but it's very challenging with binary options because you have to like kind of be correct with the like time when you
Right.
and then learn about Forex where you have more room to like leverage and play with your money.
And that's exactly why I transitioned out of binary options. Because number one, it's very fast paced and you got to be on top of it. And you got to know what you're doing or else you lose your shirt in that business. And so it's quick money, which is very attractive for new traders. But at the same time, it's very challenging because of the amount of speed that you have. And you got to be right within that time frame. And so therefore, if you enter a trade, for an example, on the binary options and you're correct, but it's not within the time frame, you can
Yeah,
still lose your money. And I don't want to gamble. That's more of a gamble to me. You can make it a professional business, but again, if you're not sure what you're doing, then you can actually end up just turning into a professional gambler.
yeah, that's how I felt when I first started doing binary options. I felt like I was mostly gambling because
Yeah,
it's very high risk to like potentially lose.
yeah, pretty much. You got it. And so that's why I transitioned over to Forex, where it's a little, I can choose the time frame that I want to trade, but the key is that if it doesn't play out in the time frame that I wanted to, I'm not being penalized with my money because all it requires is me to sit back and just wait a little bit longer. Which, by the way, is one of the biggest struggles for forex traders is learning to be patient and wait for trades to play out. They're used to fast money, quick money, and everything else, and they don't have the patience to just wait things out and just chill. It's a chillax business. Sit back, place your trade, and relax. But they need it quick, and if it don't, then they turn into they get the binary option mentality where it need to be happening within the first 10 minutes, first 5 minutes, or whatsoever else, or they throw their hands up and walk away.
Yeah, because I noticed when I first started, like, you see all the screenshots, people like flipping accounts, so you see all that noise and like, wow, but you don't know if they're doing it on demo, you don't know if they're live, but everybody's showing profits. So a lot
Yeah,
of traders get like caught up and think you can easily flip all the time, which you really can't. And it's like high risk going
yeah,
that route for
yeah.
sure.
Which, by the way, you bring up an interesting point about live and demo. I people always, when I'm showing my results on my YouTube channels and things like that, the first question they always want to know, well, is it live or is it demo? Well, here's the question. The question is, if the charts are the charts and they move accordingly in the forex market, does it make a difference?
Good point. Good point.
Because, and what I'm trying to do in the forex business, which I get a lot of heat for, but I'm trying to grow the business up. It's very, in my opinion, it's a very immature business. We're asking questions that really is irrelevant to being a professional trader. So if you're going to be a professional trader, you got to look at the markets in a professional way. You have to act professional. You have to do things professionally. It's kind of like saying, well, LeBron James and God rest his soul, Kobe Bryant, because they were practicing hours upon hours upon hours in the gym, meaning quote unquote a demo account. All right. Therefore, they must not be real basketball players. No, what you do in demo, it's the same thing you end up translating into a live when they're on the floor in front of thousands of fans. And so I think we're asking the wrong questions as opposed to just realistically looking at the charts, because when the charts move, I'm looking at my charts now. My charts don't care whether I'm in a demo account or a live account. The charts are going to move because the markets are moving. It doesn't consider whether you're a demo account or a live account. So I think in this business, people are not putting enough strength on actually practicing first in a demo account, learning to double or triple the demo account first, and then translate it over to your live account. Because if you can't do it in a demo account, you're darn sure not going to do it in a live account, because it's not about the type of account that matters. It's the type of trader you're becoming along the way.
That's correct. So I know like when I had my first like big breakthrough, like I spent a lot of time on demo just working on my strategy month after month. And then I finally did on live, and like I just basically executed what I did on demo, and it's played out. So it wasn't like I was shocked because I've been doing it for like months. That's the
Mm-hmm.
thing. Because some people like demo, like you could like, for example, like you could demo with like a large account, but then when you trade live, you're not playing with the same amount of capital. So then you don't do the exact type of risk management. So that's the thing with demo. I feel like people who demo, they should be realistic with their account size. So when they go live, they do the similar account size so they feel comfortable how they did on demo. It's like easy to correlate. They handle the drawdowns, stuff like that with the trading.
Well, in my classes, because I teach class twice a week for my for those who sign up for our program, I actually teach live. So they're in class with me, and I use the class is technically supposed to be an hour, but many times I'm there 2.5 hours, 3 hours, making sure I'm answering questions from every student who have one. But there's three things that I've always taught to my students, and I think it helps them. Because you brought up a good point about, demo or live. Is really, if we're going to talk about demo versus a live account, then I think the foolery is that we spend so much time trying to figure out who's real, who's making real money, who's making fake money, as opposed to that's the wrong thinking. The question is who is becoming a disciplined trader and who is not. That is more important than whether you're in a live account or demo. So therefore, you bring up a good point about that. So one of the things that I teach is the principles of the three killers. The three killers in this Forex business is, number one, and you mentioned it, when a person is trading on an account, yes, they always start with a $500,000 demo account, but then when they go to start trading, they start with a $100 account. If you didn't train your mind to know how to manage the money on a small scale and you started big, when you start your live account, what kind of profits are you expecting to get? The $100 returns at a good money managed level, or you still got in the back of your head, oh, I can flip this account because you did it with a $500,000 account? Which one do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, cause man, people don't think about that psychological aspect of trading.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
And so what happens is that they start with this $100 account with a $500,000 mentality, and therefore they over leverage the account. And this is the three principles I teach. Number one, when you begin to financially over leverage your account, it triggers two other emotions that kills you consistently, and you'll never be a successful Forex trader. So when you over leverage your account, and let's just say you have a $100 account. Now, I just did a video about this. You have a $100 account. You want to put on a standard lot, which is $10 per pip. So that means any little movement in the market, even if it didn't hit your stop loss, the broker spread and all these other things going to kick in, and your account is blown automatically, which triggers emotion number two. Now you're over leveraging your emotions, because now you're highly emotional. You're staring at your chart. You're up and down emotionally. You get upset. You're pissed off. Nobody wants to hang around you no more. You understand what I'm saying? So not only are you over leveraging financially, and now emotionally you're over leveraging, and which brings in the third and most important killer of all, which many families are falling apart because of this, and that is your time. Now you're staring at your charts all the time. You can't get off your charts. I call it market addiction. And so you're addicted to the market. You can't quit because now you got too much at risk, as opposed to if you have, which is standard in this business, 2% risk. All right, if you had a $100 account, you only risk 2%, which is how much? $2. You know what I mean? Come on now. Or 5%, that's $5. Even if you lose the $5, don't you have $95 left to play with?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so would you really be overly emotional over $5? No, but you will be if you're trying to go hard in the paint, going a standard lot with a $100 account. So it triggers too many immature emotions that could be easily avoided just by having a good risk management in place.
Yeah, because there's a lot of noise. Because you see a lot of people like doing like the flips, which you could do, but it's like for longevity, it's not like easy to do for longevity, flipping your account all the time. And then
No, it's not.
be trying.
Trust me, I tried.
Like here and there, but all the time it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
we hurt a lot.
Let me ask you this question. If you were going to get into investing in real estate, would you risk 100% of everything you had to buy one property, or would you look at investing a certain portion of your money into a property and then grow that one, see if it worked, and then do it again? What would you do?
Yeah, I choose like a certain portion of my profit, not like all in, but a certain portion to set
Okay.
out.
And what if I told you that, hey, Apple is having a sale that, we should be buying Apple on tomorrow? Would you take everything you own and put it into Apple stock?
Nah,
No? Okay.
nah.
All right. So then can you riddle me this? Why do people do that in the Forex market then?
It's probably because like I guess like I say like what you see out there, like the saturation with screenshots. You see the flips. You see people promoting like how it's easy that you can flip all the time, and then you feel like if you're not doing flips like that, you're not really trading and you're not doing it right because everyone's flipping 100 or 500 in a day and stuff. But it all
Yeah.
depends on market conditions. There's a lot of variables where they could probably got lucky at that moment, but not sustainable.
Let me ask you this. In the financial world, in the normal financial world, they typically will say, hey, I made a 14% increase of profit. I made a 10% increase of profit. So let's just say if you had a $100 account, but you made $10 profit today, isn't that still 10% increase? Yeah. But in this business of Forex, no, if you ain't making 100% doubling your account every day, then they think that they're a failure because they're watching what everybody else is doing, as opposed to becoming good at practicing growing your account over time. And that is why this business, and I tell my students all the time, it's one of the most immature businesses I've ever involved myself in, because I've never seen these kind of immature mentalities, because they're not thinking as investors. They're thinking as quick money, get me a Lamborghini, and it's destroying the integrity of the business. That, or let me say this, the business could have better integrity if people were teaching right principles. And it's not being taught in this industry, unfortunately. They're being taught exactly what you said, quick money, flip, flip, flip. Truth is, here's the deal. You could have a person who actually is making that kind of money, right?
Yeah.
But you still don't know how much was their starting balance on the real account. They could have $1 million account. And so if you're seeing they made $50,000 or $10,000, why are they a scam? It's true, but you didn't know how much was in their account from the start. So they could be making that kind of money without actually violating the principle of money management, 2%, 3%, 5%. And for their account, it's large, but for your account, it may not be. So my wife had taught a principle that said, comparing yourself to others is the thief of joy. I don't know if she borrowed that from somebody else, brother, or not, but it sure was smart. Don't keep comparing your results to everybody else's. Compare the walk, compare the practice, the time that you spent. And did you increase your account by 10% at the end of the week? Even if it's $100, you made $10 profit. Okay, good. Can you repeat that next week? Because if you can repeat that process, then what you do when you had the $100 account will translate when you got a $100,000 account. And now you look at, okay, did I make 10% on a $100,000 account? Was 10%? 10 grand in a week. See,
Yeah.
you're still doing the exact same thing. So don't make it about how much money you made. Make it about how much, what we call percentages. We count by percentages professionally. And so once you start growing a small account by percentages, you are now retraining your brain to not try to chase these dollars like you see in here and there. No.
Yeah.
Professional thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, because some people like they don't need like long term. The goal is to get like a big capital count and have good risk management. So you make the same but less effort. It's easy to make 10 grand. Like I said, $100 account, 10%, that's 10 grand.
Yeah.
But if you make it that simple, based on being disciplined, just focus on working on your skill set, and then eventually you'll be able to work with a bigger capital count and less stress.
And I think you just hit a key word. If I was to summarize what we're talking about thus far, you just said the key word, which is discipline. And I think that's what's failing in this business. And then if somebody does come along and they're making good money and they're disciplined in doing it, and so they're still around a year or two later, whatever, they're still called a scam. Why does a person who has discipline and success have to be a scam?
Yeah.
I don't understand that. Never seen anything like it in my lifetime in any business. Never heard of this when all the years I traded stocks and forex. I'm sorry, stocks and options, done real estate, own all kinds of businesses. Never, never. But in this business, because you got a lot of people who coming in expecting to make $1 million in a month, and if they can't get it, then they blame others, as opposed to, hey, take ownership of your discipline. Again, going back to the Michael Jordan, the Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Kobe Bryant theory. They spent hours upon hours upon hours in demo account, meaning in the gym when nobody was looking. Long after the coaches and everybody went home, they were still practicing. Then when they went on the court, now they're superstars. Would we call them scammers? No, of course not. We would say, man, they put in the work. Why don't we do the same thing in this business as opposed to trying to find and tear each other down? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, because this only business, like everyone here before, they think it's a scam because of all that's been going on, the noise. Because
Yeah.
not many people know about it, and they want to hear about it, think it might be a scam. And then you have like MLMs, like IML people trying to get signups, and
Yep.
there's a lot of stuff that just makes never seem realistic that you can really do them for it.
Yeah, because even in our business, and I talked about this on my last video, see, we even have an affiliate program, but we just do flat fees. We don't do that grow and stack on top of each other and you loop a person in and you bring 2 more people. We don't do all that. We're just flat. Hey, if you refer somebody, we'll give you a flat fee and call it a day. People are making hundreds of dollars per week just off of that alone, but I don't really promote it strong because I don't want to come across as one of those type of people. And let me say a preference. I don't have an issue with IML. They do their thing. As a matter of fact, some of the big people in that group, before they became big, I was the one who trained them. I taught them how to trade in the markets long before I started my company. And then they went to IML and I started my own company. So I know some of the big wigs in that company. So I'm not going to, as a professional, I never talk bad about a company, but I just say I didn't want mine to reflect what I know happens in other companies where it's all about, what people say, let's say it like that. People say it's all about, oh, they're not trying to teach, they're not trying to train. They're just all about building the MLM side of the business. That's not me. So when you see me on my videos, primarily, I'm always educating people, whether they join us or not, trying to give you a chance to learn the business, trying to give you a chance to learn and get educated so that at least I know I did my best to help us as retail traders. Because for me, in my mind, it's only institutions versus retail traders. So I'm trying to give contribution back to us retail traders. And for me, it was a 5-year-long journey, and I can't tell you how much money I've lost. And yes, was I scammed too? Yep, I'm sure it was. But that's why I typically try to give a lot of free information so that whether you believe in me or not, it doesn't matter. I don't really care. But if the information I'm giving to you is making sense, then just use that to help further your journey, because we're all retail brothers and sisters in this chase. Yeah.
And like I said, like, cause like anybody like before, cause I feel like it's mostly like yourself. You should be competing with yourself, getting better. You know what I'm saying? It's like no rush, cause the market, ain't going nowhere. Yeah, the market conditions can change over time, but it's like as long as you're getting better, you know what I'm saying? That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Like in the long run.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree.
And my next question, like, when did you like start your like YouTube channel?
When did I start my YouTube
Start
channel?
taking it serious. Yeah.
That's actually a good question. Some of the things that I did and do, it just grows. It's just, it just grows organically. I don't plot, plan, or anything like that. I just try to be consistent. I used to have my own radio show. I used to have my own talk show. So I'm used to just talking in front of cameras. And so, this was just kind of like an organic thing that I started. Matter of fact, to be honest with you, let me tell you how I started Super EZ Forex, because the whole thing wasn't even supposed to exist. So I created some trading systems and I took it to my children. That's why our slogan is simple enough, your kids can do it. That's why, because I actually designed my trading systems for my kids. It wasn't never supposed to be for a business. So what happened was I took it to the kids and I said, hey kids, I'm gonna give you guys these tools, and I want you to go start a business. Okay, start a business with it. So it was actually supposed to be my kids doing this, not me. And you know how kids are, they're just not in the mood. They want to do their own thing. So I decided, okay, well, I'm gonna prove you guys wrong. Guys should have taken it serious. I'm gonna start it. And so I started the Super Easy company, and lo and behold, here we are, with a lot of people involved. But in essence, I never really thought to start it. I was just trying to prove something to the kids. That's all it was. So even the YouTube channel, the same thing. I was just trying to do some talking and prove to them that you can start a business from your own thoughts, create something, get something that people want, and you can start a business from it, as long as it's a quality product. And that's where the YouTube channel and this whole Super Easy Forex company came from. It was just, I got pissed with my kids for not following directions.
Nice. And on your YouTube, do you always be doing live streams? That's how I first noticed you when I was looking at live, and I saw you on live one day.
You know what? Yeah, I try to. Sometimes I just, like with this new trading system that we have, sometimes I just let the beat play and let the charts show what they show. But for the most part, especially on my weekends to close the week out, I like to have live talks. I like to talk to people live because what I also have a certification as a life coach. And I used to do counseling and all these other things. So for me, it's more natural for me to talk directly to you to help shape your thinking in this business, as opposed to always showing charts. Sometimes I will show charts because I want people to see, okay, yeah, here's how our trading system works. Or I just want to show you some market structure or something like that. Like for an example, I just posted up a video yesterday on how to get your money back after a stop loss hunt has happened, because many people, they lose their money tremendously because of stop hunts. They don't understand how they work, and they really don't. They give up on the trade after their stop got hit, not realizing they hit your stop for a reason, because you were actually right on your trade. But that's why they took out your stop loss first before coming back, and I call it the slap in your face trade. They bring the market right back in the direction you knew it was going to go, but they slapped you in your face with a stop hunt first, made you quit, walk away, and then the next day you wake up and the trade went in the direction. Had that ever happened to you?
Yeah, it had me last week. I'm like,
yeah,
yeah, it
it's
does
called the
happen.
slap. I call it the slap in the face trade, because they slap you in your face by taking out your stop loss first, and then they go and target the exact same place where you were trying to target.
Yeah.
So I will show charts like that and explain things, and sometimes, but my main enjoyment is like the one I did day before yesterday, where I just sat in the car and just talked to people about, the markets and getting your mind together and how to trade choppy markets. That was the last one I did, and I love doing that one. I just sat in my car and just talked to people.
And for because different type of traders, would you consider yourself like a scalper or a swing trader, intraday trader? Like, what type of trader do you consider yourself to be?
Intraday and swing. I have never been very good at scalping, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because it goes back to the binary option days, and I know how to do it, but I just don't like it, and I'm gonna tell you why. Number one, the markets can move really, really fast, especially right now. That's what I'm trying to tell people. This is an abnormal market, and so it's very choppy because it's based off of news events. It's driving the markets due to coronavirus, not fundamentals, not price action charts necessarily. It is to some degree, but it's still more driven by coronavirus. So therefore, because the markets can move so quickly, it reminds me back of the binary option days where you're panicking. You're scared to go take a pee in the bathroom because you're scared you come back, your trade might be, right? So it messes up with your nerves. However, if you stretch it out a little bit and you take the same currency pair you're looking at and you stretch it and you take a look at it from the 15-minute or even better, the 30-minute, 1 hour time frame, 4 hour, you can kind of take a panoramic view of what's really going on, as opposed to the microscopic view where you're in so close you can't see everything else that's going on around that currency pair. So for me, when I transitioned out of binary options, I also transitioned out of scalping because, and again, I have nothing against scalping. As a matter of fact, in our service, our signal service, we actually have part of that subscription. You'll be in a live trade room on Tuesdays and Thursdays with one of our six-figure earners. Her name is Miss Jenny, and she is a professional scalper. So you can learn how to be a professional scalper. Again, professional is key word. So I have nothing against it. But again, that's not my thing. Me, I like to take my trades and leave my charts for a little while. And here's the reason why. And don't ever forget this, young man. Don't forget this. Too many people are chasing the dollar as opposed to using this to spend quality time with their family. Because they look at these videos, they see the cars, they see the this and that, but what they don't see is family. And so people are not spending quality time with their families. Their families are falling apart because you out there chasing the dollar. For me, I prefer to be a swing trader or whatever, trade off the 15-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour, or the 4 hour, any of those. If I'm really looking at a short-term trade in the choppy market, I'll trade to 15 or something like that. But what is my favorite time frames? 30-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour. Why? Because I can place a trade, I can walk away, I can take my wife on a date, come back, and still the trade is still in play. There's no rush, there's no panic, there's nothing. I can be relaxed. And now I'm just like the big dog investors. Bankers and institutions, do you think they scalp? Okay, but everybody keeps learning the market maker's method. You're trading against the big guys and this and that, and yet nobody wants to trade like the big guys. They're teaching how to go against them, but they're not learning to trade like them. No, they don't scalp the market. That's, again, one of these things that I'm saying, okay, where is this mentality? I don't have a problem with it, but why does everybody come in wanting to be scalpers and you haven't even learned market structure? You refuse, you hear that price action is king, you don't need nothing else. And yet when news come out and it spikes against you, then you're like, what the freaking heck happened? Well, guess what, buddy? If you would have introduced yourself to 5 minutes worth of reading on the actual fact that these currency pairs you're trading are actually two countries' economies that you just jumped in, wouldn't it be smart to kind of find out what's going on in these two countries before you invest your money into these two? Because that's actually what you're doing. That's what Forex is. It's two countries' economies, and you're betting on which one is going to come out the stronger in. So it's not just about indicators, charts, price action, naked charts, and all these things. Those are just part of it. But you got to know what's going on. That's why I asked you from the beginning. If you were trading, for an example, and I use this all the time, if you were trading or investing in a company I want to start, and let's just say I want to start a hat company, I need you to invest $1 million. Would you just give me the $1 million because you're looking at my charts that I showed you on 5 minute time frame, or would you want to ask me more questions?
Definitely more questions.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? But in this Forex market, are any questions asked, or are people just swimming right to the 5 minute, 1 minute charts?
Is going in or taking random signals or whatever the case is.
And you wonder why they're losing their shirts and their draws and their dog and their rent money and their baby mama money and everything else. That's exactly why. See, it's not a professional industry, in my opinion. And so it's drawing too many people who's learning to do the wrong things. And that's why it's so many people who are being considered a scammer, because if you succeed when everybody else is failing, they don't want to know how you're doing it. They just think that you're not doing it for real. And that's where the idea of, oh, demo versus live account and all these immature questions come in. Very unprofessional. But if you look at it from a business perspective, you would always want to know, if I was investing into any other company or business, which I get proposals all the time, don't tell me about how much money I can make. I can care less. Tell me about the structure of the company. Tell me, I'm going to ask many questions before I put $1 on the table. But in Forex, this is the one business, nobody does any of that. So for me, it gives me time, going back to your original question, which time frame is best for me? I like the ones where I can actually take my time, kind of figure out what's going on with these countries. Or is your country economy stable or is it not? Because if it's unstable, your currency is going to fluctuate very badly. Such as if you check your charts, you see the Great British Pound. They've been dropping for weeks. Why? And most traders who trade it don't know, and that's why they're losing their money. But if you just would have read a little bit, even though the Brexit is complete, they're still going through a transition of learning to stand on their own 2 feet as a country. Therefore, their legs are wobbly, just like a toddler beginning to learn to walk. Would you put 100% of your money on a toddler running down the street? Of course not. Why? Because you know the toddler can't. It's still wobbling. So why are people putting all their money into these trades without trying to figure out, okay, what's going on with these countries? And therefore, for me, when I trade, I like to trade in a more slower environment so I can take my time, do a little bit of reading, 5 or 10 minutes worth of reading, then check the other higher time frames, see what's going on them, and then I can always drop down to any other time frame I want and enter a trade comfortably and walk the heck away. Because that's what this business is supposed to do, is provide you with time and freedom. But if I'm always on my chart staring, I'm nervous, scared to go take a pee and this and that, don't want to eat, I'm sick to death, I'm always emotional, then you might as well went back to work.
And like, cause like before there's like so many pairs. I know like when people starting out, some people like to trade like all the pairs. But at this point in time, what would you say is your favorite pairs to trade?
Using our system. Now, again, it depends on your system and what you're trying to do. Because again, if you're a person who wants to trade, like if I was to trade 5-minute time frame, you know, the CAD pairs, the GBP, you know, I call it the dragon, you know, the GBP, JPY, something like that. Those fast moving spiking pairs. Yeah, they're great for scalping. But if you're using our newest trading system like Simplicity, the NZD, USD, the Euro AUD, the Euro NZD, those pairs, and I say in my classes, I said the calm candles are king when using our system. Calm candles are king. And what I mean by that is, if you look at certain currency pairs on the 15-minute, you'll see that they're all over the place, just spiking all over the place. And then these people who love to scalp trade them. But what's the problem with that? If they're spiking all over the place, what happens to your stop loss when you have a 5 or 10 pip stop?
Yeah, you get like stopped out.
You're guaranteeing that people can steal your money most of the time. You're guaranteeing your loss. That's the problem. You are guaranteeing your loss because you want a fast moving pair. But the problem is when it moves too fast, it spikes against you. It didn't matter whether you actually had the direction correct. You didn't consider how fast it can spike up and down. It's too jumpy. So for me, I'm not a fan of that for the type of straight trader I am. Again, I like walking away from my charts and spending time with my family. So therefore, I don't want to trade pairs to have all this spiking going on, because if I'm at lunch with my wife, what do you think I'm going to be doing all the time? On my phone, staring at the MT4. So am I really spending quality time with her? Of course not. No. So for me, regardless, and I don't make recommendations on pairs because everybody's different, you know, so I just always say, hey, match a pair that will match your personality. If you really are that fast-paced, high-risk kind of person, then find a pair that spikes. If you're more of a person who wants to make an actual living, consistent living, then you might want to consider what I just said. Calm candles are king. Find pairs that have the smaller candles. They move slower, but you're more comfortable because when it rides a trend, it actually rides a trend with peace and calm. So you don't have to worry for the most part.
Sure.
Make sense?
Yeah. And also, like, because all traders have like strengths and weaknesses. Like, what would you say will be your like strengths and weaknesses at this time in your trading?
Same as all other men, impatience. So in this choppy market, you know, here's what, and I just told my students this in class. I said, for me, COVID-19 is messing me up, not because of COVID-19 itself, but what COVID-19 did. My wife and I, we are empty nesters now. My kids are grown. They're doing their own thing. They got their own place. So for me, I love traveling. Matter of fact, I did a video last year where I was on a cruise, and I still showed them that I was still making a lot of money while I'm on a cruise. Why? Because I traded off the higher time frames, 1 hour, 4 hour, and you know, I can be gone for days upon days, especially trading off the 4 hour. I can be on vacation for several days to several weeks. Come back and the trades are still in the same direction. Why? Because every candle on the 4 hour is what? 4 hours.
Yeah, 6 hours.
Right. So you can be in the trade for 2 or 3 weeks. You're not even worried about it. See, peace of mind. Well, COVID-19 has everybody in the house, and there's nothing else to do. So just like anybody else, I have to fight the demon of what I call market addiction. Why? Because now I don't have the ability to just step out, jump on a plane, go on vacation, come back, and my trades are done. I'm sitting up there bored like every other person. And what do you think I'm doing? Now I'm ready to start looking at things that ain't really there. I have certain times that I trade, that I teach when people join the program, that I stay away from certain time frames, and I just don't care what I see. I don't want to look at the charts because I know it's a setup. It's fake
Yeah.
moves, right? But because I'm here in the house, my urge is to do what? Trade.
Yeah.
See, so that's a weakness. It's always going to be a weakness of over leveraging and knowing when to sit your butt down, sit on your hands. Don't you click that button, sit down. It ain't time. If you have rules, stick to your rules. And so sticking to rules, I guess, would be the best weakness of all. And that's in any of my investment business, anything I do. It's always, hey, being disciplined and sticking to the rules, no matter what.
Yeah, I agree. Because sometimes, like you take some losses, and according to your rules, you should stop. And then you see a setup like, I could make it back, even though you abide your rules because you say only 3 losses today and I'm done. But then you're like, I can potentially make it back. So the whole discipline factor is like huge for traders.
Because see, listen to what was just said, what you just said. You take some losses, according to your rules, you're supposed to stop. But listen to what the key was. But I saw. What's the problem with that?
Like you about to become over trading because you see something and you
But
have
that's the
that
key.
factor.
Yeah, but let's back it up. I'm going somewhere with that. But I saw. What's
Yeah,
the problem? You had no business still looking at the charts.
yeah,
That's exactly where I'm saying market addiction is a huge in this business. You have no business still looking at the charts. Turn your freaking computer off for today. It's enough, no more. But we don't know how to do that. We don't know how to do that. And COVID-19 makes it worse because you ain't got nothing else to do but to sit in your house. TV
yeah,
is boring, or whatever. It ain't not much to do, ain't nowhere to go. So guess what? You want to go where the thrill is. Where's the thrill? In the very place that's hurting your feelings at the same time, the Forex market.
yeah. That's true. Because I mean, like, is it like I said? It's so big. Like you can use your phone, laptop. Like you have the ability. If you're like an addict or like a gambler,
Yep.
it can be bad for you because you have it in your hands, palm of your hands, to always try to make money or lose money.
You know what I do sometimes? I actually delete the app off my phone.
Oh,
I
wow.
delete it because I don't want to, because if I don't and I'm bored, what do you think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna look on my phone and then all of a sudden, oh, I see a setup. Then I'm running to my computer, verifying the trade. Here I go again, knowing doggone well it violates my principles of not trading during that time or trading that particular pair. But here I go, because why? I ain't got nothing else to do. So if I take the app off my phone, would I have even seen a setup? See, that's why I'm going back to it. Did I I saw another setup? No, I don't even give my eyes a chance to see it because I refuse. Hey, I'm not walking in that office, because my office is right here. I'm not walking in my office. Nope, it's off limits. I'm taking the app off my phone, and therefore I don't know what's going on in the markets until later on. I'll come back when it's supposed to be appropriate time for me to look. Discipline.
Major key.
Yep.
And for like 2020, what would you say your goals are in trading for like this year, this crazy social distancing year of Corona? Like, what's your goals in trading for this year?
I don't have personal trading goals. I have a personal mission to help people mature and think differently in the business. So I'm more about focusing on the people than I am my own personal pockets. Um, and that's just real. Number two, we're supporting 12 to 15 different nonprofit organizations. Every time a person comes in and purchases our trading system, the first dollars that goes out is directly to nonprofit organizations, and we support them plenty, and they can be verified through PayPal because PayPal actually handles all of that, our transactions for that. And so we have a track record with them. St. Jude Hospital, Food for the Poor, Invisible People, which is a organization that's supporting the Skid Row homeless people are in different parts of the world. So, and I can go on and on and on, water wells in Africa and all these different places. So I'm more about trying to help those nonprofits and also to continue to do things like this, jump on cameras and just talk to people to get your thinking differently. Because if I can get people to think differently, just by thinking differently alone and identifying where you're making your mental mistakes, not chart mistakes alone, but mental mistakes. The mental mistakes is because I tell people all the time, this whole Forex game is all mental. It's based on what you see, how you interpret it, how you feel, handling your emotions, over leveraging brings in all these additional things. And now so I'm getting people away from thinking about how much money you can make, including myself, which is why I'm not thinking about it. And focusing more on mental and self-development. And once you can master yourself, it's easier for you to master the markets. But if you can't control yourself, how can you control this demonic thing called a market? And I'll leave you with this idea on it. I tell people all the time, and I did a video on this, and many people said, man, thank you for doing that video. It was a while ago, but it's in my YouTube history. And I said that the Forex market is one of the most emotionally abusive relationships you can ever enter into. And here's the reason why. Because it's so attractive and shows so much quick money, which is true. You can make a lot of money, a lot of quick money too. You can. It actually is real. But it's attracting people who haven't mastered themselves first, though. And so you got a lot of undisciplined, unmastered people, immature people coming into this business because of the fast-paced money, but they don't realize you have to bring discipline with it. And therefore, for me, if I can help a person to reshape their thinking while they're on the chase for the money, then I can improve their skill sets, not on the charts only, but primarily in their own head. And if I can do that, then I'm doing well.
Yeah, that's good. Because it's like very important because, like I said, it's like a mental game. Because in the day, you just do buy and sell, but everyone analyzes and read the market differently or focus on different moves or overall direction. So it's subjective depending when you view the market for each person.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'll tell you this, I was listening to a professional trader one time and he hit that nail on the head. He said when he was trading for on Wall Street or whatever, the company actually have a policy that there was only a certain percentage risk that you can risk of the customer's accounts. I think it was 2% or something like that, 5%, whatever it was. And once a loss hit that number, then the system would shut you down. It wouldn't even allow you to trade anymore. So the company had structure in place to discipline the trader so that they wouldn't overtrade. In this business, though, who's overseeing your hand from touching that button saying, I want to buy or sell? Who's doing it? Yourself. So if you don't have structure in place to limit how many trades you take per day and how much you're risking per account, isn't it just a matter of time before you blow up your account?
Potentially. Grand scheme of things.
Yeah, because nobody wins 100%. Nobody. So if you're always, and that's why I did the video I did on yesterday, day before yesterday. Nobody going to win 100%. So let's just say you have a $100 account and you're risking 50% every time. As you had mentioned earlier, what if you have three losses in a row? You were done after the first two.
Yeah.
Your whole 50 plus 50 is 100. That's your $100, right? But if you were disciplined and you risk 3%, 5%, you can take 3 losses at 5% and you still got 85% left of your account to still use. So therefore, it's all about the discipline. It's all about self-management. Money management is self-management. It really is.
That's true.
Yeah.
And for your YouTube page, what keeps you going? What motivates you to keep posting content and keep helping people out there in the community? What keeps you going?
Me. I just love talking. That's my gift. Let me say this. God blessed everybody with a particular gift, but most people don't identify what theirs is. But once you do find your gift, whether you get paid for it or not, you just do it because it's what you're gifted to do. And so for me, just talking. I used to, like I said, I went to school for news and broadcasting. I used to have my own radio show and things like that. So guess what? I'm always talking. That's what I love to do. I love to teach and to talk and to help. Know that when I'm talking, I'm trying to help people. I'm trying to help. So for me, posting content is nothing for me. It's not a burden. It's actually an enjoyment. I'll say this. My wife and I, a few years ago, we actually had a different page, and it was in relationships. And we were posting content every Sunday. As a matter of fact, we used to have our own Facebook Live show, and we used to have thousands of people all over the world tune into it. And then one day it got hacked, and we had 250,000 followers on that page, 250,000. And overnight it got taken away because somebody hacked our page. It broke my heart. So for me now, this page here is just another extension of me being able to communicate, talk, and teach, because that's what I do. I love talking and I love teaching. So for me, posting content, I don't want to overdo it. That's why I only do like 1 or 2 a week. But if you leave it to me, I'll do one every day because it's just something I love to do.
That's good to do something passionate about.
There you go. It's passion. Yeah, it's just passion.
And then trading, I know like main traders have like scarce trades they taken. What would be a trade that you could call that's like one of your scarce trade? Maybe you have a couple, but at least like one story about time you took like a scary trade.
Truth is, any trade can be scary or cannot be. And let me explain what I mean by that. What makes a trade scary is when you're actually over leveraging your account. Other than that, there is no scary trade because they're all the same. It's just a trade. So if you're risking every time a set percentage, what is there to be afraid of? Because fear comes in when you're afraid to lose a large amount of money. But if you know you're only risking a certain percentage every time, what is there to be afraid of? If you lose, you just go to the next one. That's how professionals do it. So there is no scary. So for me, I will say my scary trades are always going to be when I'm breaking my rules and over leveraging my account. Then every trade is scary.
Yeah, I agree, because that's like when emotions start to set in, when you like break your rules, and then like you're not even like thinking about like the market's in control of you, because now you just hoping the market goes your way or makes you feel better and stuff like that. So
Boy, you hit the nail on the head. The markets are in control of you. That is powerful. Yes, that's the whole point. I don't want anybody in control of me other than myself and God. Other than that, I'm personally handing over my control to the markets when I put too much on the trade. Again, if I had $100 account and I'm risking 5%, 5% of $100 is $5. Okay. So it doesn't matter whether I'm trading gold. It doesn't matter whether I'm trading the Dragon, the GBP, JPY. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Because why? All of them are going to come out with the same percentage of risk of 5%. So, okay, what difference do it make? It really don't. Now, if you're talking about, now I will say the pairs that I try to stay away from, because again, it's higher leverage, is going to be, and they're highly driven by news, but they can make you a lot of money too at the same time. It's the US 30 and the NASDAQ, those two, because they're tied to the markets, the stock market. So they're really, really jumpy pairs based on news, but at the same time, they can make you a lot of money. The key is still going to be the same thing. No matter which way we shape the question, play around with it, it's all the same. If you're managing your money correctly, 5% is 5%, 2% is 2%. So instantly, by managing your money, you just manage almost everything else that is problematic in the industry. Your emotions, your time, your fear, everything that's now under control. Why? Because you simply controlled how much you put on each trade. It's amazing. Very powerful.
And I got like one last question.
Sure.
Where do you see yourself in like the next 5 years in like trading and life?
Here in trading, trading is a business. It's just like anything else. You put your investments in and you wait for your return. Right? You know, some are going to work out just like in my real estate investments when I used to be heavy into real estate. Some investments worked out perfectly and made me a boatload of money. A few of them didn't. I cut those loose, sell them, and keep it moving. Same thing in the Forex market. It's all the same thing. Your investments is investments. You put your money in, you wait. If it turns out cool, perfect. If not, then you move on. So that is like a rinse and repeat business. It's a rinse and repeat business. Now, as far as my own personal life, I'm looking for, once COVID-19 clears, I'm looking to start back on television. I want my own TV show. My wife and I are already working on that. She's also a certified life coach and an author. And so we're looking to do bigger things other than trading. I don't want, let me answer your question like this, because I taught this to my students last week, as a matter of fact. A lot of traders want to be full-time traders. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't. I am a full-time trader. And that's the whole point. I don't want to be. Because what that means is, just like now, COVID-19 is forcing me to be a full-time trader because I have nothing else to do. I can't go anywhere. I feel like I'm in prison, right? I don't want to be imprisoned by any business. Businesses of any type, including trading Forex, is supposed to give you time and what? Freedom. So if you're always on your phone staring at the charts, you're always on your computer, your laptop, or whatever, on any device, always looking at the charts, always emotional over a trade because you're always in a trade, do you really have time and freedom?
No, unless you're mainly a swing trader, because then chasing the game.
So when you're a swing trader, are you always on your charts and on your phone?
Nah, not really.
No, because you already know this thing ain't gonna play out for at least a day or two. So I can go to the swimming pool and chill out. I ain't worried about it. Why? Because I'm stretching the time frame. Now you understand why I'm not big into trading the short-term time frames for my personality, because it doesn't fit with what I want to do. I want my freedom. I want my time because I have other things in my life I want to do. And so as I had taught my students, try to avoid being a full-time trader. You want to turn this business into a part-time job that makes enough money that it appears like you're a full-time employee of Forex, but in actuality, you're only spending 2 or 3 hours or maybe an hour a day in the business, which means you have all this time left to really work on what you're really gifted to do. And I think that's the key. Most people are not aware of what they're really gifted to do. And if you can use Forex money to open up time and freedom for you to develop your gift, you may find out that you're talented in many different areas, and simply Forex is financing your bills while you work on what you really enjoy so that you can really wake up and do what you really want to do with your life, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. And
So
just like just like the Kobe example, like Kobe was like great in basketball, and even after basketball, he took his talent to what he's passionate about, storytelling, and did good with that. So like, I feel like everything you do, you should always try to like become good at it and evolve and see what else you could do or whatever you're passionate about. Because Forex doesn't take too long to master once you master yourself.
Yeah, because some of these are just nothing more than a vehicle to get you to your next step. It's not supposed to be your whole life. For an example, you have Mike. I met my Magic Johnson years and years and years ago. Well, I met him at 24-hour fitness, right? Brief, it was brief, but I met him. And here's the reason why I met him. Because he had already been retired from basketball, but he had bought into 24-hour fitness, the gym that I was at. That's one of them that he had purchased, and he was walking through and just greeting people. So I don't know him personally, but I'm just saying that's how I met him. Why? Because basketball was an avenue or a doorway for him to become who he is. Now he has movie theaters. He has all these different businesses all over the world.
Yeah.
And it started with just what? Basketball money. So for me, Forex is just a vehicle. It's just a vehicle. Matter of fact, this week we're moving to a new location in front of the lake, so I can wake up in the morning and the lake is going to be right there. Thank you, Forex. I appreciate it, but that's still not my end goal.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's like to be thinking long term, because some traders who knew they just see, okay, this is what it is. But when you do it for a couple of years, you start to think, okay, what else could I do? Because it's the same old buy, sell, stop loss, take profit.
It's boring. I tell people all the time, trading is boring. Oh my God, it's so boring. It is boring. And I refuse to live my life like this. I can't. It's just too boring. Because all you do, you look at the charts, you make a determination, you put your stop loss in place, put your take profit in place. What else is there to do? Nothing. So do I really want to do that all my life and just make my whole life about that? Absolutely not. And so I talked to some traders who are profiting, and they're hitting me up. Hey, Uncle P, I'm thinking about getting into real estate. And that's where I say, great. Oh, I'm thinking about opening a restaurant. Great. Go do it. Use Forex money to go do your thing. I'm so proud of you that you've grown in the company and that you're now venturing out to things you really wanted to do. All you needed was some capital. And sometimes the banks weren't willing to give it to you. So now you found a way to pluck money from the Forex market to finance your own dreams. You don't have to wait on anybody. So great. Go find yourself. Go find whatever makes you happy and use Forex money to finance it. But don't make Forex the dream. It is a step to your dream.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely.
Yeah.
And that's all the questions I have so far for today. But I
All right.
definitely appreciate you hopping on this call and definitely sharing some knowledge for the viewers out there.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you for having me.
No problem.
All right.
Yeah, take care, man.
You too, man. Have a good one. All right.
Bye.